They wanted me to stay small, to live in doubt, to hesitate before every move. They wanted me to keep looking over my shoulder, questioning myself, questioning my worth, questioning whether I deserved to step into my own greatness. They wanted me to believe that I needed their validation, that without their approval, my success would mean nothing. But now they have to watch as I build without them. They have to watch as I thrive, as I step into spaces they swore I'd never belong in, as I create a life that they never wanted me to have. And that is what destroys them. Not because they truly wanted me to fail, no. Failure wasn't enough for them. They wanted control. They wanted me to succeed, but only within their limits. They wanted to be able to say, look at what I made them into. Look at how I helped them get here. But when I succeeded without them, when I proved that I never needed them in the first place, that's when the reality set in. That's when they realized that I was never theirs to mold. That's when they understood that I wasn't just surviving, I was rising. And now there is nothing they can do about it. At first, they'll pretend they don't see it. They'll ignore your growth. Act like your success is nothing special. Pretend like they don't care. But deep down, they feel it. They feel every step you take forward. They feel every win, every milestone, every level you reach that they swore you never would. And it eats at them. Because it's proof. Proof that you were never meant to stay in the box they built for you. Proof that you were always capable of standing on your own. Proof that everything they did to hold you back failed. And now, the only thing they have left, regret. Regret that they didn't believe in you. Regret that they underestimated you. Regret that they tried so hard to keep you down. And still, you made it. Let them sit with that. Let them wonder what would have happened if they had treated you differently. Let them realize that they played themselves because they weren't just trying to control you. They were trying to control destiny. And destiny, it cannot be stopped. You were always meant to rise. You were always meant to break free. And now that you have, there's no going back. You are walking forward. You are unshaken. You are unstoppable. And them, they are just a memory. They wanted me to break. They wanted me to crumble under the weight of their expectations, their doubts, their whispered lies. They wanted me to believe that I was nothing without them. They wanted me weak. Because weak people are easy to control, easy to manipulate, easy to keep in a place where they never rise, never question, never push beyond what they are told they can be. But what they didn't realize is that I was never meant to be what they wanted. I was never meant to shrink to fit their idea of who I should be. I was never meant to stay in the shadows, silent, waiting for permission to exist. And now they have to live with the truth that I am still here, the truth that I am still standing, the truth that I am more than they ever imagined. At first, they won't believe it. They'll tell themselves it's an act, that I'll go back to the way I was, that this strength, this power, this confidence, it's temporary. But every time they look at me, every time they hear my name, every time they see me stepping into the life they swore I'd never have, they will feel it. Because I was never supposed to win, not in their eyes. They counted on me staying down. They expected me to keep apologizing, to keep explaining, to keep fighting for a place at a table I was never meant to sit at. But now, I've built my own table, and the ones who once had power over me, they are not invited. You see, people like that, they never actually want you to fail. Numbered eyes, they want you to be just successful enough to make them feel good about keeping you around. They want you to stay in a place where you still need them, where you still seek their approval, where you still hesitate before you take a step forward. Because the second you realize you don't need them, the second you step fully into who you were always meant to be, that's when they lose control. That's when the panic sets in. That's when they realize that you are never coming back. At first, they'll try to pull you back in. They'll use the same tricks, the same words, the same guilt, the same manipulation. They'll remind you of who you used to be, of the mistakes you made, of the things they did for you when you were at your lowest, because that's all they have left. Memories of a version of you that no longer exists. But you've moved on. You don't live there anymore. And no matter what they say, no matter what they try to do, no matter how much they whisper your name when you're not around, they cannot reach you because you are untouchable now. Let them wonder, let them doubt. Let them keep telling themselves that you are still the person they once controlled. Because deep down, they know the truth. They see it every time they look at you. They feel it every time they hear about the things you're doing, the places you're going, the success you never should have had in their eyes. And that is their punishment. Not your anger, not your revenge, just your absence. Because while they stay trapped in the past, reliving the days where they thought they had control over you are only moving forward. They wanted me to stay where they left me, frozen in time, trapped in doubt, waiting for their approval, their permission, their validation. But I am not who I used to be. And that is something they will have to live with, because I didn't just move on, I outgrew them. I outgrew their limitations. I outgrew their expectations. I outgrew the version of myself that once needed their acceptance. And now, they can't reach me anymore. Not because I'm bitter, not because I seek revenge, but because I have leveled up, and the person I am now doesn't live in the same world as them anymore. At first, they'll try to ignore it, pretend like they don't see the transformation, act like they don't notice the shift, convince themselves that you're still the same, that nothing has really changed. But deep down, they know because your silence speaks louder than any words ever could. They know because the same tricks, the same mind games, the same manipulations no longer work. They know because they can no longer pull you back in, no longer control how you feel, no longer keep you stuck in a place that was never meant for you. And that is what breaks them. Not your success, not your happiness, not even your growth, but the realization that they no longer have access to you. Because access to you, that was always a privilege, and they abused it. They thought you'd always be there. Thought they could keep taking, keep draining, keep feeding off your energy without ever giving anything in return. But now they have to watch as you give that energy to something greater, to something that actually builds you, to something that actually supports you, to something that actually values you. And they are just a lesson now, a reminder of who you used to be. A reminder of what you will never tolerate again. A reminder of why you will never, ever shrink yourself to fit into a space you were always meant to outgrow. Let them wonder. Let them regret. Let them sit with the weight of what they lost. Because you have nothing left to prove. You don't need their validation. You don't need their permission. You don't need to explain yourself to people who were never listening in the first place. All you need is to keep moving forward. Because the further you go, the quieter they become. And that silence, that is your victory. Because you were never supposed to stay where they left you. You were always meant to rise.